everybody, Steve Callaway back here, back in action, doing a kind of a tribute video to one of Angelina Jordan's inspirations and influences in her music. And you can hear it in her, the way she sings her songs, some of Mr. Armstrong's unique styles and characteristics. So let us listen. I just got done with a two-part series on everything I could find on Angelina singing What a Wonderful World. And I just thought it was probably appropriate to go back and pay a little homage to one of her, I'll call them mentors in a way too. And he was famous for singing this song, Louis Armstrong was. So this one happens to be, there was a whole bunch of versions I could have picked. I picked this one not because of the video quality, not because of anything else. I picked it because of his beautiful message at the beginning. He lived during truly hard times in our country, as far as trying to grow and be better people, if you want to put it that way. And he actually lived through prejudice and all kinds of other bad things. We think of that nowadays, and we think that things are bad, not like they were back then. Not even close. You know, do we have things to do, things to work on? Do we need to try to improve things? Absolutely. Absolutely. Probably always will have something far short of perfection. But, you know, I guess it's our nature as humans. It's easy to fall into complacency and just accept things the way they are. But every once in a while, somebody will rise up and show us that maybe we could be a little better. I think that's what Angelina has done for me. Angelina has showed me I'd kind of gotten away from music and a lot of things. And she brought back into my life a spark for music that I had lost. She also showed me that, yeah, you know what, Angelina, she's a good person on top of being a great singer. Matter of fact, scratch that. She's a great person on top of being a great singer. And her family, the way, however they raised her, which we don't know, but we've seen the result of how they raised her with all the performances and rehearsals and all the other stuff she's done, all the places she's been, all the things she's been up to her whole life. And her dream of wanting to sing for the whole world. What's wrong with that dream? So, you know, it's a lot of things, but I think that it all really comes down to one thing. When Louis Armstrong here in this opening part of this video is talking, imagine the life that he lived, and yet he has that kind of a message for all of us. That's inspiring. It really is. We can be better. While it would be nice to think we could do it collectively, it starts with each one of us individually. From there, it can possibly spread out. So, you know, that goes along with Angelina's message of the world needs more love and kindness. Yes, it does. How does that fit into this video? Tell me it doesn't, okay? It's the quote that I put up here on the top left over here. Love, baby, love, that's the secret. It's that easy, okay? Or I should say it's that simple. I don't know about the easy part. All right, guys, let's go ahead and watch the video before I yammer on forever, which I am apt to do sometimes. This will be a full screen video, I believe. Once I click this, it'll say go to YouTube, and then we'll watch it in full screen.
Some of you young folks been saying to me, "Hey, Pops, what you mean, what a wonderful world? How about all them wars all over the place? You call them wonderful? And how about hunger and pollution? They ain't so wonderful either. But how about listening to old Pops for a minute? Seems to me it ain't the world that's so bad. but what we are doing to it, and all I'm saying is see what a wonderful world it would be if only we'd give it a chance. Love, baby, love. That's the secret. Yeah. If lots more of us loved each other, we'd solve lots more problems. And man, this world would be a guesser. That's why old Pops keeps saying, I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
So there's a guy born right after the turn of the century, well, previous century, 1901, who lived through, think about it. He was born at a time, when did the Civil War get over with? 1868? Hang on. When did the Civil War end in the United States?
It ended May 13th, 1865.
Yeah, May 13th, 1865, the Civil War ended, okay, officially ended. And so that's what, 35 years before the turn of the century. So 36 years before Louis Armstrong was born, the Civil War ended. Just before that was the Civil War. One of the main issues, I guess, was slavery. And he came up at a time where he could easily face, I don't know, humiliation, prejudice in a way that you'll never see nowadays. And he grew up in that era. It's sometimes nowadays when they think that there's people are prejudiced and everything else, it's Yeah, it's still here. Probably will always exist in some way, shape, or form. Should it be? Shouldn't it be? It shouldn't be. But me personally, I don't think I know anybody that would deny somebody a job based on their color. Most people are just interested in their qualifications that I know nowadays, okay? I'm not saying back in the past. I'm 69 years old. I was born in 1955. I think I was born at a great time because, I think people were a little bit more, it was after World War II and people were more, raising family oriented, if you want to put it that way. Not so much concerned about huge social issues as much. That came along later in the 60s and into the 70s and continues on to some degree, but civil rights marches and that kind of thing were more along in that era, I think, as I recall. So, have things gotten better? Well, I don't know. Could they be better? That I do know. Yes. The answer is yes. It's up to you and me to make it better. So, when Angelina says that Louis Armstrong is one of her inspirations and influences, she says that back when she was little, actually. The choices she made in her little young life, who to use as an inspiration, amazing. Probably had a little guidance from her mom and grandma, but I'll tell you what, I don't think most little kids can grasp the whole thing all that well. I'm not sure most of us adults can grasp it all that well. So, yeah, Angelina, for so many reasons, brought me back into the light, if you will. Not that I was deeply in the dark, but, I was getting a little worn down by things, and she brought me back to see that there is a future. Humanity can move forward. We're not doomed, okay? Not that I was a doomsdayer or anything like that, but I thought that there was the possibility that we were heading in a direction where our species would eventually become extinct, because it does happen, a lot, often, and all throughout the history of time. And most of it, any time you're talking about human beings, we tend to bring about our own demise in most cases. Sometimes it's disease and things like that, but other times it's choices we make as people, how we treat each other. And that eventually brings problems and issues intended to solve the problem. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So let me leave it. As you know, I can get on a ramble here, and who knows when that'll end. But something to think about. I think it all really comes down. Me personally, I believe it all comes down to each one of us individually. How do I treat people? Am I biased? Am I prejudiced? I have to be careful of that, because when I'm as old as I am, I'm set in my ways to a certain extent. But I don't think I've ever really been that way. Sometimes I like to think of myself that I'm open-minded enough to give everybody an equal opportunity if I'm the one, providing the opportunity. I used to have a construction company. I had 28 guys working for me. I really didn't care much about their background or their nationality or their beliefs or anything. I really didn't care about that. What I cared about is that they would come to work every day, be reliable, and put in a good effort. That was what I cared about. And the other thing that went along with that was I liked them to be able to follow instructions. Okay, if I sent them to a job to perform a certain task, a certain way, with certain particulars, please follow the instructions, because I talk to the customer personally, and I want to make sure I deliver what they're expecting to receive. Okay, it's that simple. And when I relay what they want to you, I'd like you to go perform. That's why I hired you. Okay. Wow. What the, Eureka. What a concept. So, anyway. Like I said, if I don't get out of here, I'll talk forever. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little look back into the past, and also looking at who Angelina credits with being an influence and an inspiration. Don't get much better than that. All right. Thanks. See you next time. Bye-bye.